Hey, this is Ben Kasani. Today, I want to talk about three components to having a happy, successful life. I've gotten feedback from people and been searching around on Instagram, realizing that six human needs is very powerful. Any addiction, any problem, any behavior, you need to understand that these are the driving forces behind everything that we do, every relationship, every connection, every creation. And so I want to kind of unpack how this perspective of the six human needs from human needs psychology has really impacted my life. So I wanted to go over kind of here they are. So you got certainty, contribution, and I'll put my little pointer out here. So certainty over here, variety and uncertainty, fun, change, connection and love, contribution, growth, significance. And you'll notice something interesting. So today I heard this from Chloe Madonna. She said, she noticed a pattern with people that have a lot of anxiety. They tend to have a very high need for significance. And so then I thought, I wonder what the other emotions are. And I just guessed, I just put some in here. Maybe those that have need more fun and uncertainty and variety, when they don't get that, they have a lot of grief. They've been stuck in a rut, right? Maybe people that don't get enough love and connection are having fear, or maybe they have grief and because they lost someone. And I'm just kind of throwing out some ideas here, but I think there's a pattern. A lot of people that have worry need more certainty. Maybe people that want to contribute more have frustration and can't seem to create and contribute to the world. Or maybe people that are trying to grow can't decide. And so they're trying to go in all these different directions, but they can't actually grow in the few directions that matter. So there's some ideas, and you can play around with this, but the real part is the words inside the circle. That's what's key. So I wanted to share about how everything comes down to three things. You've got light, truth, intention. And we are beings of intention. We are spirit and body. Now, I heard a story today about a man who is very smart. He's studying neuroscience, and yet he's always on his computer or video games. He's checked out from his family, he's always on his phone, shows up at meals with his phone, and he's overweight and struggling with his health. And he just doesn't have any higher identity and purpose. Even though he's doing all these smart, brilliant things and able to manage his life, he's hooked on technology and he's not really alive. And so, what I want to bring out here is this intention. We need light and we need truth. And truth is things as they are, as they were, and as they are to come. Light is that living life force that gives truth, meaning, and vibrancy and aliveness. And so we need both of these. It's kind of like energy in a container for it, right? As we're going through life and we have these intentions to create, to grow, to learn, to meet our human needs, we hit these clouds. What helps us get through this cloud is light and truth. Now, when we live the truth, it's like we have more light. And so we can get truth, but if we don't live it, the light dims. This is the creation cycle. We need both of these elements of light and truth when we're being congruent with who we are in our mindsets, what we say, what we feel, and what we do. Feelings aren't just something that passive that happens to us. We can generate feelings. Feelings aren't just something you react to. See, say, feel, do. What we see isn't just something we react to. We can turn our head and focus on something. We can change what we look at. We can change our mindsets. What we say, we don't just react to everything people are saying and then we have to respond to them. We can choose to be peacemakers. We can choose to respond in a different way. We can choose to analyze and look at different perspectives and find more meaningful ways to communicate with others and with ourselves, like the self talk that's going on inside our head of what we feel. Feelings aren't just something that happened to us because someone was unkind or someone died. Feelings are also something about how we choose to look at a situation and create meaning, what we do with our physiology, what we do with our focus, and the stories that we tell ourselves. And sometimes we don't examine those stories. And that is how we generate feelings and states. Things don't just happen to us. We can go out and change the world. We can build a house. We can remodel a house. We can meet friends. We can go find a new job. We can leave the job that we don't like, that we're upset with, right? We can do things. And there's many different ways that we can do to create. So each time we get light and truth combined, it's like a little element of inspiration. These are the building blocks of our life. It's an energetic charge as well as it's matter. We've learned how to interact with matter, physical objects, physical things. We know the laws by which they're governed. When we combine these together, We have this element of inspiration. We can either choose to eat it and have it become part of us, or we can spit it out and move along. The real elements of inspiration are nourishing. They meet our human needs and inspire us or motivate us to change. As we create and live it, we have more capacity. Now, a dysfunctional version of this would be to have not quite as much light and not quite as much truth or missing parts of the truth. And so, what that's going to do is you're going to meet your needs. For example, let's say you have a need for variety and you want to go do a bunch of things, but you take it to such an extreme or you meet your need for variety in an unhealthy way. Let's say you smoke and you want to feel good. You want to feel certain that you have a way to deal with these feelings of overwhelm and stress that come up. So you smoke and then you get rid of those feelings. You're able to check out and relax. One of the problems is if you don't dig deeper and understand, well, why are you avoiding those feelings? What's happening now is you're using a little bit of light and a little bit of truth. The little bit of light is, well, I feel better. I smoke and I don't feel so bad. And that little bit of truth is, well, it does change your physiology. It is a way of changing your physiology. But as you get more light and truth, then you start to learn, oh, wait a second. Well, this isn't good for my body. That's truth. And the light is like, hey, I'm not really getting to the core where the light lives. How do you get to the core where the light lives? A friend of mine who's avoiding feelings about growth and about contribution. He wanted to contribute more to the world. He really wanted to grow. So what does he do? As we talked more, he discovered, oh, I didn't know that my feelings of anxiety and grief and fear were informing me to take action. He got a little bit more light and truth about emotions. They have meanings, they're signals to tell us something. As he learned, these signals are telling me to meet my needs in higher, better, holistic, or holier ways. He got this element of inspiration. We switched the vehicle of how he met his needs. The way he met for certainty now was I'm going to listen to my emotions, I'm going to exercise and work out. I have a new kind of certainty. I have certainty that I'm going to have energy for my soul. I have certainty that I'm going to show up at my job with more vigor and excitement. I'm going to go follow my dreams and take some time to do it. I'm going to gradually move towards that dream. So I'm going to have my certain job and I'm going to have my dream. I'm going to do them both so I don't get rid of all certainty. And then he has a certainty, he has more energy. So now he has more capacity to create. So that was the point here, as he saw a new way to meet his needs. The old way of living met his needs. His behavior met his needs. For example, certainty was met and his need for variety was met. His nervous system got into a different state by smoking and by being able to change his physiology. And he didn't have to feel those feelings he didn't like. So it did meet his needs. We're always going to have this energetic or physiological pull because we're meeting needs. So look at something dysfunctional in your life and ask yourself, how does this meet my needs or someone else's needs? All right. So here's the next section. This is called a sphere. We need a container to put this energy into. This container has some bounds and conditions. We have 4 parts of our being. That's the basic law, the basic truth, the basic concept. We need to meet the requirements of these 4 areas. We have this physical part of us. If we don't meet the needs of our physical body, the blood sugar won't work, we won't breathe, and we die, right? But you need nourishment, you need to get rid of the toxins and things you don't need. And if these systems don't work right, you're not moving your body, you're not exercising it, not strengthening your muscles, not breathing well, your physical body is going to dim. It's not going to be healthy. That is the first part of this container. We need to take care of the physical container. Now we have the intellectual, the mind part. This mind part is a container for knowledge and information. It helps us feel significant when we know things and we know how to interact with things. We know how to speak and articulate our words. We have the social energy container. This is like our spirit body or our energy body. And we need to have growth and significance and contribution and connection. The way that we energetically connect or spiritually connect with people and the way that we spiritually grow, those needs need to be met. We need to feed our spirits spiritual food, whether you call it the bread of life, prana or chi. The point is you need to socially grow, not only spiritually, but socially. Relationships are a spiritual energetic thing. That's why it can feel so intense when we have relationships that haven't worked out well, because that energy of those feelings is so strong. Oh, I want to avoid that. So how do we relate to others? Well, it's by the interactions we have, how we deal with conflicts or differences of perception and the feelings. It's how we relate to people. And think of triangles. Like oftentimes one of us will talk to, let's say, mom or dad, and then the other sibling has a conflict with us. So they talk to mom to get information about us. They try to work through someone, whether that's at work or in a family situation. We often have these triangles of interactions. Relationships really matter. I remember a work episode where nobody could seem to figure out how to make these different departments work together. So I drew a little org chart of these triangles and all these shapes of people, thought like this person's this and this. And what I realized was we didn't have the right structure set up of how we related to each other. And I talked to someone under the CIO, and she helped create a structure, helped me create a structure and a committee in a way that we had authority and we could tell all the managers how to get alignment. And we had authority from the top to get all these people together on a new way of thinking and doing things that never been considered in the organization. We'd struggled with this problem for 3 years. So the way we relate to each other changed the energy, and it no longer felt dysfunctional or frustrating. It felt empowering. And so that's the point. The way that we relate to people, does it feel empowering or disempowering? And we can ask ourselves, what can we do to change the structure or the energy of how we relate to each other? The main question is, how do I relate to this person or this group? Okay, the next is a spiritual. This is the part of us that's our awareness, that is our spiritual mind. Our spiritual mind needs purpose, somewhere to contribute. It needs connection and love to truth and light. It needs growth, and it provides us with certainty. Spiritual faith provides us with certainty. It also can provide us with variety. The miracles in life, right? They're uncertain. We don't know how miracles are going to show up. And our spirit needs some surprises. Why else would we have faith in anything if we didn't ever have surprises? We wouldn't even need faith. And faith helps us grow. When we have faith in one another, you get on the road every day and you have the possibility that you could die or get in an accident. You have faith in other people. You have faith in your car. You have faith in the universe and God that you're going to get where you need to get to. We rely on faith every day. It's a very practical, real thing. So on this side, it's a little bit more about matter, and this side's a little more about energy. All right, moving on. Tony Robbins talks about the 10 action signals. These are a suggested way of looking at emotions and seeing them as signals of what kind of action to take so that you don't feel disempowered by feelings and emotions, but that you can look at them in a more empowering way. There's no negative or positive emotions in the sense that they all have meaning and purpose. Now, there's negative and positive emotions in the sense of, well, I'd rather feel this one and I'd rather not feel that one. But in the sense of our experience on this planet, there's no bad feelings, have meaning, value, and purpose. They're intelligent systems communicating something to us. So if we get something in the mail and it says like, hey, there are no groceries or food in your house, well, it's a signal that you need to go to the store and get some food. You got this, like you get invited to a birthday party or a wedding, and but you need to take action. You need to RSVP. So even positive emotions, like a letter in the mail, and negative emotions like, hey, the grocery store has run out of food. You need to go to another grocery store. They're both action signals. They're both information and intelligence. This idea of a sphere or container, this light sphere, is basically a light codex. In ancient Israel in Moses' time, that's one form of a light codex. This is one example of a light codex. The universe or God has given us divine patterns that you'll start to see. These four orders or areas will inform you of how to be a more powerful creator. This next area is pillars of light. As I said before, you've got your 6 needs. How do you meet those needs? It's through the creation process. I like to say, see, say, feel, do. But you've got different areas of processing. C is like your spiritual, your spiritual mind. You got intellectual mind here. You've got your social energy body, and you've got your physical material body. And so C is our intuition, it's our energy, it's our awareness. It's what we focus on. Say is the verbal intellectual body, how we verbally communicate intellectual concepts. It's the analytical mind. This social energy body is our heart, our relationships, and the way we feel about things and relate to things. How we relate to things is to feel by our focus, our story, our physiology, and we have a state of being. Now the do, that's what we physically do with our body in actions, in exercise, moving our body, in breathing, in pumping, in moving blood. And you need all 4 of these areas. So anytime you're creating, you can ask yourself, which part am I missing? Which part am I neglecting? Or which part am I overemphasizing? And these areas tell you about how you can become. As you look at the four areas, you can then do what I call plan for the opposition and expect it to be there. Why do we have this opposition? If we go back to the beginning, opposition comes from just creating anything. The opposition we face within ourselves is because we have these needs that pull us towards something. Until we train our spirit and our body to meet that need in a more effective or healthy way, both for us and others, we're going to have these kind of gravity wells that pull us towards these things. And that can feel like opposition. And as we train ourselves to go, you know what? I find certainty and variety, not through smoking, but through exercising at the gym and investigating my difficult feelings about how I want to grow and be an influencer in the world. And that's one example of opposition. Another example of opposition might be that we have a person or a structure that's been set up that makes it difficult or challenging to do something. Maybe we don't have a certain skill. Maybe we don't know how to relate to certain kinds of people or certain kinds of work environments. Or maybe we're not clear on our purpose or what we're really trying to do. Those are all examples of opposition. So expect it, plan for it. And as we go through these clouds, look for the light and truth, ask for it, seek for it. These elements of light and truth combine to create inspiration. And we can take that inspiration and act on it. We can create. So I invite you to do something this week that inspires you to take action in some small little way. It's something that's been in your heart that I should look into that a little more or reach out to this person. Listen to those promptings. And if you want better intuition, take care of your temple, take care of your body. That improves your intuition. So I want to leave you with this. This is my video on packets, spheres, and pillars of light. And as you understand more about these, you can find a more powerful creative process, find more joy, find more light, and really relate to people in a higher, holier way. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.